Hey guys, it's Lord Miles here. I'm back with another adventure and you guys won't believe this. I drove for 6 hours to go to the middle of nowhere in the most dangerous country in Africa, South Africa. This place is a hellhole.
Thousands of soldiers out on the streets in response to these stunning images that have shocked South Africans. Looting on a massive scale, windows smashed, hundreds of stores set on fire.
A rapidly deteriorating situation, violence and chaos breaking out all over in the nation of South Africa.
Even armed South African citizens were firing on people in the street.
We've got a little utopia in the middle of chaos, Orania. If you guys don't know, the media portrays it as a white-only community, a white enclave in a black country, which has pissed off a lot of people. We've got exclusive tour plans, so we're going to head in and we're going to see what's really going on. Please like and subscribe. And guys, sorry face, look, Orania. Hello there.
Hi. Hello, Peter Bishop.
Miles Rowledge from England.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Welcome in South Africa and welcome in Orania. I'm working for a company in the name of Orania Developing Country.
I've heard of this place.
Yeah, so we are developing Orania, making sure that Orania grow in the right way, that we create a community what's suited to our requests.
My friend, say no more. Give me a house in Orania, please. I need it now, please. Everything in England is not good.
We're Afrikaans speaking community, so can you speak a few Afrikaans words?
I actually could speak fluent Afrikaans, but I'm actually mute.
It's for us, it's very important that we're building a community of Afrikaans-speaking people where Afrikaners can feel it belongs to them, it's their place.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's cultural preservation, that's a good thing too.
Yeah.
That's what I like to see. Hopefully in the future though, as truthfully things might get worse in England, Europe and North America.
Yeah.
Maybe one day you might have an adjacent town full of Europeans and
Yep.
honestly it'd be a good trading partner.
Yep.
Why
No,
not?
most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
But I know you turned down my offer to live here. Maybe someday, but regardless, I'll buy you a drink sometime.
Thank you. I'll appreciate
No
that.
worries, you need it. You need it after dealing with me. How much, very roughly, would a new 2-bedroom development cost? Very roughly.
In South Africa, if you buy a 2-bedroom apartment in one of the rural areas, it wouldn't cost much, around about, let's say, between 300,000 and 500,000. In Orania, it's much more expensive than that. Here, it will cost you around about 1.7, 1.8 million. The reason being, there's a few things. Housing go nowhere in the past few months. So house prices have declined rapidly. There's no trust in the areas due to a lack of services. So there's no services. And if there's no services, the value of houses just drop. In Orania, it's completely different,
yes.
And that's why prices of houses is much more expensive in Orania. Also, in the rest of South Africa, there is something like cheap black labour, so that's also a factor.
Fair enough, yeah.
And the other thing is, building in Orania is quite a distance for a supply chain in certain aspects. So yeah, it's a little bit more expensive than in other areas.
I guess you're just suffering from success. Yes, it's more expensive for the average person here, but can you put a price on safety? Let's be fair.
The place where you live, the community that you live in, is one of the most important aspects in life. Are you of the same background? Do you have the same norms and values? Are you, for instance, in Orania's, are you a Christian? Do you live according to biblical norms?
Yeah, it's very tough to find nowadays.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
maybe we'll
sorry.
discuss it some other time. Thank you, my dude.
No,
Good
it's
man.
nice meeting
Pleasure
you.
meeting
Keep
you
well.
too. Good
Okay,
stuff.
thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So the only time I speak English is guys like you, right? So.
No, thank you. Honestly, your English is better than most every refugee I've come across in England. So.
No, I don't think that would be that difficult to.
Hey guys, you know I'm not a big famous YouTuber just yet. I'm not border bankrupt level, so I'm asking for some support here. If you want to buy some Oranian merch directly from Orania through my store, please link in the description. You got some cool flags, you got some pins, you even got hats. Whatever you want from Orania, support this local community and support me in my travels so I can keep on traveling and eventually afford North Central Island. Please link in the description, buy it. It's completely legal, everything I sell, shipped from the US directly to your door, tracked and signed and everything. Thank you so much for supporting my work, and God bless you.
Miles, being the retard that he is, has left his editors without footage explaining his first impressions of Urania. So they have asked me, AI David Attenborough, to tell you guys what he thought. Urania was incredibly clean, friendly and safe. Miles was never in fear of getting a shank to the gut, nor robbed in broad daylight. It puts England to shame. On his way to interview more of the locals, Miles stumbled across an Iranian gym. Being a 6'7" Catholic Chad, he simply had to go in to pump some iron, on the rare chance that one of the Christian Iranian ladies were watching.
Is that beer on tap?
Yeah, they do have beer on tap.
You have beer on tap at the gym. Oh baby, it's heaven on earth. Ooh, baby, it's heaven on earth.
Although he did not come across any beautiful Iranian ladies of legal age in the gym, Miles nonetheless obtained a solid pump and is still thinking about that beer on tap to this day. So far, Miles was having his most safe adventure yet, with the most danger being accidentally dropping a barbel onto his face whilst benching. He would then meet with controversial figure Joost Strijdom, branded a white supremacist by libtard journalist. He sat down with Miles for a very friendly interview where we will see that he is not the hateful man portrayed by the media, but instead a proud and brave Afrikaan fighting for his people's rights and safety.
Hi Miles, I'm Joost Strijdom. I'm a representative of Urania. I'm the head of the Urania movement, which is our idea movement as well as our movement for support. And it's great to welcome you guys here.
Lovely, thank you.
Tell us about some of the misconceptions regarding Urania.
There's so many, you know. Urania is a community, small as it is, that managed to grab the attention of the world to an extent. Journalists and tourists from every continent and almost every country has been to Urania. So on the one hand, you get people who want to use Urania for political goals in terms of trying to portray it as something far right or apartheid or whatever. On the other hand, you get more right-wing people trying to make Urania something on their own terms. So there's many misconceptions.
Yeah, imagine using Urania to push merchandise. By the way, guys, if you want Urania merch, buy it on the website.
Is Urania safe compared to the rest of South Africa?
In terms of the rest of South Africa, Urania is an extremely safe place. South Africa's got an average of 80 murders every day. I think 150 or 170 rapes every day. It's a violent country. It's a country with a lot of civil unrest and a lot of unpredictable actions. Urania is a very safe place, a great place to live and have a family and things like that.
Sorry about the crime in South Africa. I've been letting off some steam recently.
What would Urania do if South Africa collapsed?
Well, that's a pretty easy answer. Urania have been doing for the past 33 years is exactly that. The founders of Urania could see the direction in which South Africa was headed, and collapse is not the only thing that they saw in their vision, but they could see a lot of things. Collapse was one of the probabilities. Building a high-trust society in the middle of nowhere and far away from everything is one of the best things that you can do when things start to go wrong. It's not a case if South Africa will deteriorate further, it's when. South Africa can simply not be managed centrally. The British tried to do it. The Afrikaners took control of South Africa in 1948. They couldn't make it work. And now the ANC is failing even more horrifically than the other two combined. So it is failing and it will fail more and more. And one of two things will happen. Warlords and gangs running certain areas, taking control in the vacuum where the state isn't. The other one is communities. Ordered communities. So that will be the case more and more in South Africa. So there will be parts where the state still have control. In terms of the rural areas, more and more it will be the case that gangs and communities will have to take responsibility for their own areas.
Can you tell us about Urania's recent recognition?
I think it's a big milestone for Urania. Remember, Urania was always controversial. I would call this the normalization of Urania. One of the previous presidents of South Africa, when the change happened in '94, Afrikaners lost everything. They lost the military, they lost the police, they lost the economy, they lost politics and so on. The system couldn't continue, and that is what it is. But we lost everything, without any plan, without any area, without any territory. And some Afrikaners' voices went up and they said, well, we need Afrikaner self-determination. It's what we need, it's what we want. And under the lead of one of the generals, they went to Thabo Mbeki, at that stage the deputy president, and they kind of demanded, give us a place. And his reaction was actually very, very good. A lesson in the art of territorial self-determination. He said, show me the animal. And I don't know, like, what does that mean? He said, General, if I were in your position, I would create a reality on the ground that no one can deny. So creating a reality on the ground that no one can deny was always the Orania strategy. But we had certain milestones in terms of recognition. First one being a court case that we won in the year 2000. Second one, the district's municipality in the greater area recognizing Orania. And the final one was now an event where the two political parties, the FF Plus and the ANC, in terms of the provincial legislature, had to make a deal. And one of the events in that deal was to recognize Orania status. Now, opposition parties like Mkhonto Sizwe and other radicals are already reacting to this and saying that the ANC is traitors and so on. Might be some interesting times up ahead for us in our political pursuits and our safety and so on. But it's an interesting time. It's great.
Have you got any advice for the West with dealing with mass immigration?
As I said earlier, for me there's only two phrases. The one is demographics is destiny. It doesn't matter what those demographics are. The majority in terms of culture, in terms of practice, in terms of religion, dominates. There is no other option, it's just the way it works, especially in a democracy. The other one is consolidate. So if you understand the reality that if you are a minority, if your religion is a minority, if your people is, if your culture is, whatever, if you're a minority, you're on the losing side. You need to make a plan. And if that trend is continuing, Western Europeans are getting fewer and fewer kids, while people that come in from third world countries are having big families, dominating, and the mistake that Afrikaners made was to look down on people and think, well, you can never outperform us, we are so smart, we have such grand university degrees and everything, and we run the economy. And simply demographics and culture just changed South Africa. So if you want a place, consolidate in one space. It's the only way to survive on the long term.
What do you think of black guys in wheelchairs?
It depends on which. I don't have a problem with people in wheelchairs. I do not have a problem with black people. I do have a problem with a lot of journalists in general. Yeah, it's
Well, one struggle, brother. Tell us about a recent Channel 4 journalist, the black man in a wheelchair who caused some upset, but of course twisted it. I want to hear your story, true story.
Yeah, Miles, I'm just glad that I have an opportunity to have a British guy with a camera and I'm not looking at him through rifle sights. No, just on a tongue in the cheek. But the experience that we've constantly had with British journalists, especially The Guardian, BBC, and now Channel 4 is intellectually very, very, it's not deep, it's lazy and so on, from a position of looking down on Orania and very, very friendly while they're here, very, very, very backward when they leave. We had a lot of bad experiences, but we laugh it off. You know what the funny thing is? The more certain journalists poke Orania, try to make Orania out as nothing, the more positive people who think like us become about Orania, because they do not trust those guys. They do not trust Channel 4, they do not trust the BBC. So when they see those productions being made, Orania being portrayed in a very sketchy way, they start to wonder, they start to think, but why did this happen? Why did that happen? So actually that is a major set of favors. We got a lot of donations after that program, a lot of people interested in Orania after that program, a lot of new support and members of the Orania movement. Thanks, guys.
What are gun rights like here?
A very high percentage of the population in Orania is active hunters, competitive sport shooters into safety and security. The reasons for those are multiple. But it's our culture, you know, deeply intertwined with firearm ownership, hunting and self-defense. For the past 400 years, there was no state looking after us. For a small portion, maybe from 1900 to 1994, we had, there was a state with a military and so on. Before that, it was volunteers, keeping communities safe, keeping farms safe and things like that. So our culture is deeply intertwined with that. We encourage people to have legal firearms, carry them, be trained, compete. We have a lot of sport shooting events which people take very serious. We have a lot of hunting. Little kids grow up since 3-4 years old, they join their fathers on hunts. So it's really, really deeply intertwined with our culture. And as I said earlier, I went to the bank the other day and I think there were 7 people, of which 5 were armed in the bank, in the Orania's local bank. And it's just, who's going to rob the bank here? It's not going to be a good idea.
What was it like being defeated by the British?
Well, what's it like having so many British graves in South Africa? Probably. The famous General Koos Tallery said, we have place for a lot more British graves. Africa is big. And we are 1 for 1. We can go for a third round. We won 1 war, you guys won 1. So, you up for the third one, Miles?
If you want to hear a joke about Orania, I'm coming up. I wasn't going to tell a joke, but you asked me. Do you want filming here?
Must I move up?
Yes. It's fine. Want to hear a good joke about Orania?
Go ahead.
So the first black family comes into Orania. There's a black kid, he goes to school, and the white kids make fun of him a little bit just because he's different. He goes home crying, but one day he decides to paint his face white. He paints his face white, and he goes back to school, and the kids treat him really well, and he feels like he's a white guy now. He goes back home and he goes, "Mom, look, I'm white," and she backhands him, slaps him across the face. Now crying, he goes to his dad. He goes, "Dad, look, I'm white," and he gets the belt and beats the shit out of him. Finally, he goes to his grandma and goes, "Grandma, I'm white," and she slaps his face up. He goes back crying to his dad, defeated. He goes, "Son, have you learned anything?" He goes, "Yeah, I've been white for 5 minutes. I really hate free You were panicking halfway through.
Panicking for your sake. Man gets deported from Africa.
So as you can see, the Iranian currency is right here, all the way from 10 to 200, and that's really cool. Now you can't find this stuff anywhere else, guys. Only in Irania, they use this lovely little currency here for all their goods and services. They're completely reliant on this, not on the local South African currency. What they do is they actually hand in their money to banks, and then the banks reinvest it and they get given local tokens that can be used anywhere in Orania, which is excellent. But I've got an opportunity for you guys. If you want to donate to me monthly and support my work, which would mean quite a bit, guys, what I'll do, if you sign up for the $8 a month or more tier, I'll send you one of these in the mail, guys. So you'll have a piece of Orania at your doorstep just for supporting me. And other bonuses include being able to talk to me in exclusive group chats, live updates, that type of thing. So if you want a piece of Orania right now, money spread, link in the description of my YouTube video. Donate to my Ko-Fi and you'll get talking to me in no time. I want to say thank you so much, guys, for supporting me. So giving you this, it's the least I can do.
So this is a large display of the local currency that we use, currency in quotation marks.
Oh, yeah.
This is actually just a coupon system. So why did we do it? In 2004, Orania was still quite a new project and there was no economy. Don't people understand how tough it is to start an economy from nothing? There is no natural resources. There is no mines, there is no industries or production. You have to start from nothing. So one of the ideas was to circulate value internally. If you can circulate monetary value internally, you obviously get the advantage that it doesn't leave the community. It grows the local economy. So that's the first thing. The second thing was a massive safety advantage. No one is going to shoot you for notes that they cannot use anywhere else. Attacking Orania's bank or attacking a shop in Orania is very tough. You don't know what the amount of rands in the cash registers versus the amount of euros. So you can do a heist and go back with 80% euros, which is totally useless. So there's no sense in robbing an Orania business. The third thing is quite obvious. The fact that it's a coupon system, it must be backed by something. We backed it with rands, with the South African currency, because anything else would have been illegal. And those rands that we then reinvest in our own bank, and the Chamber of Commerce make an active return on that, which we then reinvest in training business people, empowering businesses, things like that. The final thing is symbolism. It's very important to be able to have your own symbols on your own things to define yourself. Earlier I said we must define ourselves as a group. That's what we do. So the previous series, which just ended a year or two ago, the G series, and this is the H series, as you can see. The specific series theme is the cultural command in the Bible, in Genesis. In Afrikaans it is bewoon, bewerk, bewaar, which means live on it, work it, and protect it, which is referring to nature, and we in our Reformed faith we see that as the cultural command, how to conduct yourself in terms of nature, in terms of civilization, protect it, work it, live on it. And then if you put all the notes together, it's maybe a bit tough to see in this, but we have the little giant. You put all the notes together, you can see the outline. So on the 10 you will see just the head, the top of the head.
Oh yeah.
There's the nose, the arm goes, the legs and so on, unifying it like that.
Incredible, you can collect them all, I guess.
Yeah.
These signatures, they used to be done every single time, every single note.
This is the first series where they're actually digitally printed.
Oh,
because the amount that we do is so high now that it took days to sign them all by hand, literal days. People's hands would go
bleeding,
dead.
yeah.
But all the previous series are still signed by hand.
So again, suffering from success.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's that.
Amazing, thank you.
This wraps up Miles' safest adventure to date. Who would have thought that an all-white town would have been the safest place Miles has ever visited? This was the first time Miles didn't nearly die on one of his adventures. Being the retard that he is, he will probably die aged 107 by slipping on a banana peel. Thanks so much for watching, and a huge thank you to all the supporters on Ko-fi. Miles is extremely grateful for all your support. If you support Miles on Ko-fi, you will get to talk to him in the exclusive group chat where he says retarded stuff, and you will receive gifts from Miles in the mail from his adventures. God bless you all. Like and subscribe.